Wala, did this Wala. I envy all of us doing real estate. Congratulations. It's not a small thing. Please put your hands together for every real estate person here. Apologies, you is my industry. If I'm not saying, please, apologies. Now, you know, this collaboration thing became obvious to me when we were to host the mayor of the city of Brampton in Nigeria in the month of February. All was set. The guys, the Canadian delegates were ready and everything was working. But you know, those of us working together in Nigeria, the problem, I think it's only the pertinence team that comported ourselves. And that's why after that visit, we are the only one benefiting from that trip, silently, after the visit. Because even the people in government, I don't know, where we are supposed to come together to make things happen. We're going to see the governor, they start saying, you will go. You will. You know, what's the meaning of all that? What's it about the governor? He's there to serve us. Together. Their people could not come together to make things happen. So I'd like you to look at your business today. Who are the people you are competing with? Stop that competition. Start collaborating. I did a study about the Indian guys in Brampton in Canada. I observed that not less than 50%, is even more, but I'm trying not to exaggerate, of the house owners in Brampton are Indians. And I started wondering, how did these guys get this thing done? They are dominating. I'm running a program in Canada now, and in my class, I have not less than 80% of the people in my class, international students, they are all Indians. How do these people get this thing done so easily? It's simple, collaboration. They buy those houses by contributing. So they arrange how their brothers will come. So before you come, they are formed like a contribution. So all you need to buy a house is that deposit, right? So they put money together. Each of them can raise that money individually. So they put it together. Today they put it down for you to buy your own house. The next one they put together it will be for you. And before you know it, that's how they have been doing it, and their own houses. That's very important. So as leaders here, you must understand that even amongst your team, you must encourage collaboration because of the day you will not be around. Today, in the last 5 years, I've gotten 2 master's degrees, an MBA, then another master's. I'm on a postgraduate program now, running it by side with my PhD. I'm doing a PhD right now too. That wouldn't have been possible if I don't have a team that collaborates. If I don't have a team that I've suggested to them that there is no competition, everybody is working together towards a common goal. Let me just wrap up with this quickly. Fear. I'm just closing here. Fear. Now I observed that that's been the major factor that sets people back in life and in business. You know, I was reading a document some time ago, and it was analyzing the things that people fear the most in the world. I thought I would see death as number 1 in the list, but I was shocked to notice that death was number 2. The number 1 thing was the fear to talk in public. I'm telling you, what people fear, to ask for what they want. Can you imagine? That is the greatest fear. For us in business, we have learned to ask for what we wanted at every point. The worst you can tell me is no. As a businessman, go now and start asking. Because everything we have discussed today, if you don't take that action, if you don't ask. I remember about 3 weeks ago, we were to meet with Pastor Matthew Ashimolu for a business discussion. And my team gave me some information that, see, this negotiation you are going for, there are some things you should not talk about. Because he has given privileges to some people along that area and they messed it up. So don't bother talking about it. I told them I've had. But when we were going to negotiate, those were the things I brought to the front burner. And everything we requested, he approved. Imagine if we did not talk. So you need to overcome that fear. Start talking, start asking. And the next slide, we have just 2 more slides. I did just 13 of them. Anxiety versus serenity. I'm closing with this because I have this. And they say what you don't have, you can't give. Have peace. Running business for this number of years, we have done a few things, little things. We are learning to do big things like some of us here. We hope one day we'll grow up to a level where we can do big things. But we are doing little things, having over 60 estates spread across the nation, the number of employees everywhere, the number of businesses, subsidiaries, not less than 10 of them, standing very well, doing exploit. And in the midst of all this, I'm still able to sleep like a baby. No pressures, no pains, no worries. Now, what is responsible for it? That is the last slide, and we'll just close with that. Spiritual intelligence. You know, yesterday you were teaching about energy. One form of energy that you should never joke with in business is the spiritual energy. Whatever it will take for you to sustain your spiritual energy, please keep it. I know when you talk about spiritual energy, people have all forms of sources. You understand what I'm saying? Different sources of spiritual energy. But the one we know is the God we serve. So that's why when we go to places, they ask, you have a Godfather? We say, yes. Who is your Godfather? It's God the Father. It's our Godfather. Now, if you look at the diagram there, EQ to the left, IQ to the right of you, but not center. Round is SQ, spiritual intelligence. So it means if you have EQ, your perspective will always be from this side. Your results, you will generate results only by virtue of the strength of the left. If you have IQ, you will generate by virtue of the strength of the right. But if you have SQ, it's all round. Any day, anytime. For us, that has been our source of strength. We have enjoyed. It looks like, what does it have to do with what I needed? And right there, I sent money to both of them. One of them called me. I said, you have surprised me. God of pleasant surprises will show up for you. He never knew what was happening. He just made his own prayer because he wasn't expecting again. And immediately he dropped that call, not less than 3 minutes. A call came from the reception. Someone is at the reception and he insisted, normally they will not bring customer to me, that the customer insisted on seeing you and is here with one of our team members. I said, okay, let them up. So when they came and we discussed, in less than 15 minutes, I closed the deal with a man that will pay all the tens of millions that we needed and we still have change. Now, that's not the interesting thing. When we were talking, the man said, okay, he just wanted to see me before he pays the money. But the problem is that this is now 2:30. Going to a bank, this, initially I was packaging like, okay, I understand. But you know what it means inside? I understand this and that. I just look at the guy that brought him somewhere. I said, can't you lead your customer to the bank? Can't you, more like, the guy said, yes, if you are ready. So that was how I put it. They go to the first bank, they said it was busy. He called me from there. I said, no. That was when I knew that I knew all the map of all the banks in that area. I said, move from that place. It's another Echo Bank. And so, and they moved. And 10 minutes to 4, the money hits the account and we're able to settle that. That can only happen by spiritual intelligence. I think I'd like to stop here. Thank you very much, Mr. Niyi. I appreciate this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please put hands together for Mr. Sunday Olorunsheyi. Spiritually, I tell you that you need to be sensitive. Wow. I was almost tempted to say, were you blessed by that administration? But you can have your seat. Were you really, really inspired by a courageous leader? Can we celebrate him once again? Beautiful. What? Okay, my boss has something to say.
Okay, sorry, you'll take over. I just wanted to say this. I think I mentioned it yesterday, that these guys today are more going to be sharing their stories. And then we've been together for quite a while. And they are both members of the business think tank. We'll talk more about that today. But one thing is this, the Niyi Adesanya brand, the Niyi Adesanya platform will make opportunities available for people who are in our corner, not just in our circle, but in our corner. And then somebody told me once that there's a lady that needs an opportunity, that I should give her opportunity. I said, I don't know her. I said, I know you don't know her. That's why I'm interested. I said, I don't know her. Even the fact that you are introducing her, I don't know her. Because when I check my corner, or when I check my circle, the person is not there. Talk less of checking my corner, the person is not there. So the person can never get an opportunity with me. I am stingy with my opportunities. And then these two guys, especially the person who's going to come next, they're going to just share from their personal experience. And I want us to be ready. And then for those of us who are still thinking about whether you want to be part of this or not part of this, please, Dubai is coming up in March. March, Dubai. And you know the dollars is going up, and we charge in dollars. It's $3,000. It's going up now. This is the time for you to tie it down, and then, you know, it could go to 600. We pray against that anyway. So, but practical lessons that we're going to do today, please pay attention. I love these two guys, and there's so many of them also here, but as time goes on, we'll be bringing them on board to share their stories with us. I celebrate them, and I'm also saying this also that they made my work very easy, very, very easy. Because people wonder how I'm able to fill up the hall. I'm able to fill up the hall. Last month, I filled up the hall. This month, I filled up the hall. And you're wondering how I did it. I used the kingpin strategies. The kingpin. Get the kingpin. Once you get the kingpin, the other people will flow in. And there's a particular one of them, I will talk about them later. I actually gave like 23 people right here. I mean, that's almost over close to 20 to 25% of the people who are sitting here came from just one person, just one organization. And then we have another one who came with about 7. We have another one who came with about 9. And the kingpin strategy, we'll talk more about that. But I celebrate these guys. I would, after a while, that's why I brought Teni Martins, so that they can all dance here and we all dance. By the time we're done with all the teachings, this is going to be a party gala, party after party, after party, after party. So that's why I brought him, just to serenade this set of people. And then let us get that. Let me use this opportunity to celebrate them. This conference is to celebrate them. Sunday Olorunsheyi, Teni Adesanya, Peter Oketola, Biodun Famojuro, Tosin, Aspire, Clement Oladipupo, all those guys are so dear to me, and I celebrate them a lot. Thank you, guys. We'll talk more about that before I take all the time right now. But I just needed to say this so that anybody who is still thinking whether you want to go to Dubai or not, I think you should not be thinking right now. You should just flow in and let us hang out together. And you know, Sunday was saying something about Professor Patitomi being part of his advisory board, chairman of his advisory board. He was able to get that because of the opportunity and because of Think Tank. We make all our connections available to the people there, and we push your business to beyond the limits that you can ever think about. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put hands together once again for the convener, Mr. Niyi Adesanya. Once again, thank you for coming, for joining us today. We noticed that in the course of the presentations, there were some phones that were, can you please help us put your phones on vibrate mode or the silent mode, or if you feel that even when you put it on the vibrate mode, it's even louder than, yeah, please let us remove the same, just put it, yeah, this is a time for you to take courageous step and buy another phone. I'm telling you, some people are kind of, I thought I drove some funny cars in my life until I heard Mr. Sunday's story. So his car was even, I had my first car before I invite Doctor. My first car, I share it, and every time I share it's still emotional because it was my first car as a 25-year-old boy from a polygamous family. I was excited. My father got his car in his 30s, and buying a car, 25, I was excited. My mom from a polygamous family as the firstborn, because up till last year we were still 9. I don't know the latest number from a polygamous. No, I'm not joking. It's really sometimes embarrassing that your mother is doing omugo for you and she's doing omugo for your father's wife. So sometimes you don't even know. It's really embarrassing. Sometimes my brother called me uncle because the age gap is different. It's really, really much. And then buying that car from a mechanic was one of the worst decisions in my life. It was a Accra Legend. 1980 something. I think the car was even older than me because I didn't know I even bought a female version of the car, Accra Legend. Because it was when I carried my fiancée, I noticed it was a jealous car. You know, I could just be in traffic. You can, like you said, you can stop anywhere. It was the time that I knew another car that was doing overeating by the smell. So how do you know? He said, yeah, that's, you know, passive. You don't start talking to you. You say, do you know I can stop on Tom Miller? He said, you'll be seeing you will don't stop. I said, I didn't tell you. I will surprise you. If I don't stay here for 1 hour, call me bastard. Car will be telling me. Eventually, I let the car go. There was nothing I did not change in that car. I used to pray for rain to fall in Lagos because, you know, once rain falls, the temperature will go down. I bought the car 320. I sold it 120. It was, you can imagine how much I've changed things, and I sold it 120. The guy said he had only 100,000 with him. I said, take it. He said, we're taking 3 weeks to pay the 20. I said, no problem. I didn't call him. 1 week after I decided, 2 weeks after I decided to call him, normally this guy respects me, he calls me Sako. He does not call me by my name, Ayodele. When I called him 3 times, he didn't pick. When he called me the 4th time, his voice was low. He said, Ayodele. Ayodele. I said, what? He said he's not feeling fine at the moment. I said, why? He says it's as a result of the car. I said, what happened? He said, there's nothing he has not changed in that car. But virtue kept on coming out of him. I said, where is the car at the moment? He says at the museum because that was the boss, because mechanic could not even, they said, Mark, be one sort of me. Because it was V6. Eventually, I let it go. Accra legend. Next speaker for today, ladies and gentlemen, we already have a slide or a voice, right? Let's put it together for Dr. Teni Adesanya. He's going to be taking us to this.
Dr. Teni Adesanya is a seasoned professional and business consultant, entrepreneur, startup enthusiast, and philanthropist with over 2 decades of hands-on experience cutting across different sectors, including finance and investment management, banking, hospitality, insurance, oil and gas, project management, and most importantly, real estate. Having results-driven experience in management, consulting, and a member of various professional bodies, Dr. Teni Adesanya has several career achievements. He built Oxford Group Nigeria from a single company into a business empire of 187 subsidiaries, employing more than 3,000 smart entrepreneurs and associates. He provided strategic leadership to the Oxford Group conglomerate, leading to continuous expansion and a growing capital base of over 5 billion naira. Dr. Teni Adesanya is founder and president of Teni Africa Foundation, a non-profit organization committed to empowering youths and aspiring entrepreneurs with grants and other resources to grow their businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Teni Adesanya.
Thank you very much. Please, can we be seated? Wow. While I was coming up, I was thinking, what else am I going to come and say? My Oga at the top are really done justice to speaking about courage in leadership. But then, there are still so many things we have not said here. So I'm going to be, before I go into that, let me first thank Mr. Niyi. Sir, this is my cousin, in case you don't know. His name is Niyi Adesanya. I'm Teni Adesanya. You should understand. I joined Niyi Adesanya Leadership Bootcamp, I think, last year. I think I've attended 3 different programs. One of the things I want to say about Mr. Niyi was specific about the one we did in Dubai. I came to Dubai with a heavy heart. I wanted to take over Nigerian business space, but I don't know how. I knew we had people that are working with us that has capacity to be able to understand what I'm saying. But one thing I don't know is how to create that structure that will make people's potentials to be able to thrive. So I came to that program. We were shared into, I think, groups. So I was asking questions. The people that are in my group then, one of them is Mr. Wisdom. So I said, is it possible for one organization to own 500 organizations? You say, yes, it's possible. But how will you manage? It means you have to break them down into smaller units. And I'm sure if you ask them now, probably they might not remember that I asked that question. But I wanted to be sure, is it possible for one man to create an organization that can take 50% of all the employable people in the same country? And the answer is yes. So I came back from Dubai with that motivation that I want to employ every professional available in Nigeria. So I'm going to be telling us the courage that helped me to be able to pull. Well, I think I've employed more than 100 now, and we're still counting. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me appreciate Mr. Niyi Adesanya. Okay, my topic today is a case study on building lasting business. It's about courage in leadership, but I want to focus on building a lasting business. The last Niyi Adesanya program we had last month was one of the things I learned is about how to build 50-year-old business, how to make your business become a legacy. And I discovered that courage that we're mentioning here goes far beyond having the mind to take risk. And it has different stages. The first one that happened to me was, any business I want to go into, I'm always scared to go to prison. For those of us that are familiar with failed businesses, you should know that Zone 3 is very close to this place. Yeah? You should also know that EFCC is also there. And you won't want to explain to them that, you see, it is my business plan that was wrong. That was why I lost my customers' money. You can't say that to them. You can't tell them my business model was supposed to work, but pandemic was the reason. I've seen businesses in Nigeria that went through a whole lot of dragging on social media because of the pandemic. So you can't tell EFCC, it's not my fault though, it's COVID. Those are the kind of fear you have that destroys courage in your mind to do business. I happened to work in some structured environment before I started Oxford. And we started Oxford, I think it's about 6 of us that started the business. I want to actually agree with Mr. Olorunsheyi that it is important that most businesses that go far, that make significance in any area, must start with partnership. You can't start a business alone because you cannot have all the expertise in the world alone. I've seen a lot of businesses that start from one man and it grew out of one man business and became a structured business where you have different set of partners coming in and then creating value in that business. Okay, now the challenge we have here today is that there's nothing I want to teach you about leadership or courage that you don't know already. But one of the things I'll be telling you is my own story and then Oxford Group story. We started as Oxford Commercial Service International Limited. When you want to start a business, most of the time, it is CAC that gives you the first name. Do you agree? So you go on with, I want to start my name with Oxford Cultural, CAC will not say no acceptable. Oxford Philanthropy will say no. They say, yeah, maybe use Oxford Commercial, and I'll be like, I shall accept it. Because the 60,000 you even used to start, you know where it came from. It was a miracle 60,000 to register 1 million units of shares. So you don't want to take excuse. So yeah, shall give me the name. That was how we got Oxford Commercial Service. Till date, I don't know what it means. But as long as it's a CAC and it can help us open an account, I was ready to go. So 6 of us came together and we started real estate business. My story is very unique because I came from the background of finance. I have been involved in finance business for a while. So going into real estate was somehow an adult learning to do a business that is not familiar with. And one of the things I did was, when I was in finance business, I knew I was doing all the job. I was a hardworking person. I knew I was doing 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. But you know what it means when you have 500 customers that you are lending 50,000 and you are getting 1K. I'm sure you that you are lending 1K. So you made, say, 500,000 income, and then you spend the whole 500,000, half of it to recover the 50,000 you were giving individual people. It was a crazy business. But then you had the crowd. Your office is always full. You have what we call credit agents that bring customers to you. From the 50,000 you are loaning out, the agent will take about 5%. So from your 500,000, you have spent about 200,000 servicing the people that are bringing customers to you. So I was doing all the job, but the money is not coming. I would like to refresh the memory of Mr. Olorunsheyi. There was a time I came to his office. I'm sure you remember. And I said, sir, I want to invest in real estate. At that time, I had an opportunity to pull as high as 10, 15, 20 million at the time. I think it's 2004, 2014 or 2015. And, you know, the investments, I'm going to say it here, I'm sure you have forgotten. He said, you see, we don't need people's money. What we need now is probably you can be an agent, you can sell land for us. That's the opportunity we have. Our people don't need this kind of services. You know why? I wasn't actually coming to bring the money, I was coming to learn. So he was like, okay, let me allow you to learn. He gave me a free pass. But then I said, okay, let me go do this financing once more and come back. So before I went back, a lot of things have gone wrong. Now, I learned real estate for about 6 months from a particular set of people, which I will not mention here. So after 6 months, I went into the full-blown business of real estate. The first challenge I had, I'm trying to tell us about courage in business. It will shock you that when you say you learn real estate, I have discovered that there is no one-way traffic to learn that business. That business is for everybody. Even a blind man can learn real estate. It is not a profession. I'm going to go back to that and I'll tell you why it is important for you to know that. So, any business that anyone on the street can do has limitations. Okay, so I went into the business and we were fortunate to meet some families in Bejuleki. So I said, okay, you know the way we started the business. Now, for those of you that started real estate, you know we don't pay for land. You just meet the money and say, alpha, you shop knuckle. Then you say, you know what, I will bring customer. A lot of us knows how this thing starts. So the first customer we brought was, the customer was very happy and the customer paid. Then 1.3 million. And we celebrated. I think at the time we had about 10 marketers or 11 marketers at the time. So we celebrated, and one of the lessons we learned in business at that time, we took the money and called the agent. That was the agent intermediating between us and the owners of the land. So we paid the agent for one plot and then gave him extra change at that time. That, you know what, give this one to the family, tell the family we want to buy 10 acres. Let's lock down 10 acres. The agent took the money around. You know, after the agent ran away, for a company that doesn't have 100,000 in his account, and the first customer that trusted you with his money gave you 1.3, and you could not account for 800,000, just like that. And as God will have it, we've already paid commission. The 60,000 we borrowed to register company, we've given it back. The landlord that gave us the house to use on credit, we paid half of the rent. More like we have actually exhausted before. The story of Oxford started from a very, very humble background. It was very humble. And because of my courage in business, because I believe so much that when you start a business, the two things that must be on your mind is integrity. The second one is focus. Don't be deterred about what today. To start a business is quite dramatic, especially in this environment. Your business plan, I've been opportune to sit in front of so many venture capitalists, and they will tell me the business plan you guys submitted is not rich enough. Your 2017, 2018, they give you all sort of information. And I always tell them that, see, if you ask me to bring a rich accounting document or financial statement that shows I've been making money for the past 3 years, I won't need you. How can I bring 50 million turnover when I'm not even started a business? I'm a startup. You understand? You don't ask a startup to submit financial turnover statements. People don't get it right. That is the kind of environment we are. So one of the things I will tell you is that when you want to start a business, the first thing is not to look for investors. You will be making a whole lot of mistakes. The first thing is not to look for investors. The first thing is to go and put your house in order. Understand exactly what you want to do. Keep practicing on your presentation in case an investor comes to you. But make sure you have timelines for everything you do. From the activation period to the period where you are definite about the system you want to create, to the point where you are bankable, to the point where you now invite investors into your business. These things have timelines. You don't just jump off and say, I have an idea. The truth of the matter, you will sell your idea to 100 people and they will never understand you. They won't. Because what you are saying is different from what they are saying. So it's important. So I want to talk about tipping points, growth and milestone. Something happened in our business 2016, 2017, while other people are trying as much as possible to grow in business, I was busy fighting partnership. I wish I had read the book of Mr. Sunday and Mr. Wisdom. Probably I won't have to go through all of that. But when you venture into partnership, make sure the person you are partnering with understands you. Make sure you're on the same milestone, the same pedal. Make sure the person understands what you understand. Make sure your vision align. Make sure that mind of going global, you are not partnering with the person that has a mind of going local. It is key in partnership. Make sure the person has a teachable mind. Make sure the person has a projectable mind, not a static mind. Make sure the person can take risk. Hello? Make sure the person can actually have courage. But one of the things that reduced 6 people that started my business to only me is courage. Okay, 2016, we were playing in the field of the 100,000s, the 1 million. 2016, we started very late in 2016, so we cannot actually have a financial projection. But 2017, we are all out. We want to make millions. When you're in a board meeting, and then your partner walks to you and say, you said we want to raise 100 million this year. I say, so we'll put the whole 100 million in the business. You say yes. So which one is our own? That was when I knew I was in trouble. When money comes in and your partner is telling you, Alpha now, let's settle my own first. Hello, they are in for the money. And then for someone like me, that I ran businesses before, I understood that anybody that is in for the money in business don't go far. As a matter of fact, you are very close to EFCC. I knew that from the beginning. So I said, okay, you know what? If we must do business together, it can't be about the money. It has to be about what we want to change. All the things we were saying at the time was we want to build houses, we want to go into real estate, we want to make affordable housing for people. So when we have little that can build one flat, please let's build it. You can't have a real estate business where you set up a particular estate and you don't have prototypes. Let's build prototypes. They say, no, I've not finished my own house, we should be building prototypes. So I said, okay, you know what? At this point, partnership cannot work. And that's how we started reducing from 6 to 5 to 4 to 3, and then to 2. And you know, sometimes you can be mistaken, you are mistaking followership for courage. Some people follow you because they think there is possibility you might make it. So they want to give you a chance. Let me give him 1 more year and see if he will get there. So that was what happened. So it got to a point, I stopped talking about millions, and I said, okay, this year we must do 1 billion. That's when the guy said, wait, you know what? Your dream is global, mine is local. Let everybody find their way. They just think this guy likes praising. What is wrong with you? Can we not just be okay with this small that we have? I said, no. The kind of dream I want to build, the kind of business I want to build is the one that comes from the unstructured environment to the structured environment. I want to buy banks. I want to own the biggest bank in Nigeria. I want to go into agricultural sector and change the face of business. Nigeria Federal Mortgage Bank is not working. I want to create a mortgage bank that beats Federal Mortgage Bank. I want to go into the education sector and make a difference. I want to go into oil and gas, not downstream now, the upstream, and change the reason why LPG should be imported when we have it here. There are so many things I want to do, but I can't do that as a local man. I can't have a local dream. To even change one of the sectors I mentioned, you must be probably in billions of naira. So I said, this is what I want to do. And the guy said, you know what? Let everybody find their way. At that point, when I became alone, that was when the whole thing now opened my eyes. Now, at that point, I started allowing the right people to be in the right place. The first thing I did was to come back to the situation we found ourselves in 2017, which was creating structures. So I came back to it in 2019. 2.5 years of foolishness. Please, understand where I'm going. It is not too late to change the face. Your business might be having lukewarm, probably because of your retained partner. You have to look into it very well. As wonderful as partnership is, you can't have it with the wrong person. I wish I have a wisdom. So, tipping point, 2019, I became alone and I said, okay, you know what? Let me look into this business. I discovered that most of the people we raised from 2016, they started businesses. This guy has started his own. I'm doing well. This one has started his own. We just keep raising people. And then they will start their own. And they will be calling me to come and be chief lunch. Wait, this will. You know, I started looking at it. What is the problem? Because for people to be retained in your organization, they must understand you, your vision. So nobody stays with two leaders that fight every time. So they feel like, you know what? Why you two giants are fighting yourself? Let me go and do my own. So I got it right at that tipping point. So I said, you know what? Let's create a platform where when we train people to become entrepreneurs, because it's not possible for you to train me to be able to start a business, and then I will now do your own. Understand it very well. 2016, 2017, be an entrepreneur. You can move from one level to another. You can start a business. Those are the training we give our people. And then 2018, the guy stood up and said, yes, I want to do my own. You can't be angry. You trained him. So I said, okay, what should I do? Okay, you know what? Since everybody wants to go into the business of real estate, I will train you that you own your company. But I get the largest share. Hello? So what we did was, you people go to training. You get to a particular level, you'll be promoted. You can now own your own organization. But meanwhile, on your board, I remain with the highest stake. Deal. Everything you need. You need an office, you need a location, you need vehicles, that was how we grew. Today we have 310. So I'm going to put an insight. A lot of people will tell me we have 187 subsidiaries. I'm talking about expansion now. And I always like, 187. People are confused still. I don't have 187. We have 187 associate organizations. One of the things I learned in 2019, I went to a program on the island, and I sat, and they called themselves a particular group. I found that they came together to put themselves together and say, you know what? We are not starting a real estate company, but we can sell for anybody. I'm sure you know those groups on the island. So I look at their business model, I say, okay, I'm coming. So I went together, and I pulled these companies together. Give me one of your locations that is not selling. By the time 311 organizations sell it, it will go fast in 1 second. So I replicated it in a structured way. Listen to me. A lot of people don't understand what I'm saying. I have 300 plus marketing organizations. So I created that system that even if you decide to sell mail, the moment you drop mail and say how much is the mail, say 2 naira, everybody sells. You give me bottled water. This bottled water is not selling. I drop the bottled water in that organization, it sells. Give me anything, drop it, it sells. That's the tipping point and the breakthrough of the business of Oxford. So, raise 2 billion, give me 1 week. It's as simple as that. So, in 2020, after I came back from Niyi Adesanya, I already have the structure. So we kept growing that structure. So I said, okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to own a bank. All the money that are coming in, they are charging me too much. So we bought a microfinance bank. That's the first step. Secondly, we want to own a school. I started buying properties. Listen to me. When anybody comes in front of you and tell you, our business have not taken money from any bank for the past 10 years and we are still doing strong, the person does not understand what OPM means. The loan is for you. Hello. Those funds comes at cheaper rates. I want you to imagine a bank giving you loan at 24% per annum. Hello. And then an investor is giving you money at 30% per annum. Which one is more better? Hello. But you know what? You need to be able to convince an investor with your business model, right? You need to convince the bank with properties. So what I did in 2020 was to go into the property space and start acquiring properties. I acquired property to a point that we have property worth over 5 billion. There's no bank on this earth that will not give me a loan if I want it. Most of your people will go out and say, Oga, they told us that somebody wants to put 500 million in the business, they need bank guarantee. What do you need for a bank guarantee? You need to bring in your properties to the bank in exchange for a guarantee. The 500 million will come in. Raising money became a normal thing. Now, we shifted from marketing firm, which is an unstructured environment, into the structured environment. Don't forget, when you are going into some of these businesses, there are businesses that are licensed. I hope you know. And then it has a lot of regulations. So you can't actually say, I want to bring this guy that has been working with me from 2016, will come and run this business. It doesn't work that way. So coming to Dubai was going to understand how I can get a professional that has worked for First Bank for 15 years to work with me. As we speak today, there is no professional I cannot push. How much do you want to pay? I started from the marketing side. Some of the people in my marketing arm earns as high as 3 million a month. How much do you want to earn? You bring a professional from First Bank Capital, for instance, and you say, I want you to work for me. The guy said, do you know I earn 24 million per annum? I said, hey, would you like to earn more? Because I understand the terrain. Okay, let me move to my next one. The Oxford story came into existence because of 3 things. Our clarity and the vision and mission is superb. I understood what we needed to do, which is the mission. The people that work with us in Oxford, okay, let me just give you a name. The 300 companies, we call them catalyst center. We call them catalyst centers because when you go there to share an idea, which I do every month, I come to those 300 companies and say, see, this is what we are running after this month. We want to own this. How much do we need to own this? 2 billion. Everybody goes all out. And then we come back and then we own it. So they understood the vision of where we are going. So it's very easy to drop an information and then everybody follows suit. So the second one is courage. They know, listen to me, nobody will follow an idiot. Nobody will follow an idiot. Nobody follows a self-glorified individual. Nobody follows people that think about their self only. For people that have known me, one of the things I've done successfully in business, I will tell you what you want to be in life, what you want to become. And then you tell me, I want to have a comfortable life, I should be able to eat 3 square meals, and probably own a business that will be able to take my family. It's all about them. So one of the trainings I give in my business is to let them understand that for you to prosper in this business, it has to be all about others. When you don't understand the concept of this prayer, I've seen a lot of people pray, Lord, from the north, from the south, from the east, from the west, bring people to my cause. That's a very wrong prayer. From the north, from the south, from the east, from the west, allow me solve people's problem. Let there be problem to solve. That's my prayer now. So I discovered that brings a lot of people to me. And the courage I'm using in business, which is my big weapon, is taking bold and ambitious steps. This past month, we were trying to work on our real estate business. Because I understand that after the pandemic, most of the customers that were even paying on a monthly basis, some of them stopped paying, probably because they lost their job. We had a lot of customers, about 2,000 plus, paying on installment. So I said, you know what? If we had a mortgage bank that supports most of these customers to build, it will be easier for the real estate business to thrive. Don't forget, every business we do, we want to make a statement. It is not just about selling. It's about making statement, huge statement that can change the course of regulation of that particular sector. I will tell you, after this, I'll tell you about what we've done in agriculture. So I told them the next thing to do is to acquire a mortgage bank. That we need a mortgage bank that can face the federal mortgage bank and create a plan, regulatory-wise, that will allow all our customers to be able to build between 1 to 18 years. Because I felt as an organization, we don't have the capacity to tell a customer, give me money for 18 years. For God's sake, we bought the land 1 million. We say we are selling 5 million. I give you an 18-year plan. In 18 years, the land is already 10 million. Who is losing? We are solving problems, but we are losing business. Hello? But you might have an opportunity through the regulatory system to own a business for 18 years with a mortgage plan. The Federal Mortgage Bank has those plans, but they cannot serve the whole of Nigeria. So what they do is they put those money in individual mortgage banks and say, okay, take this 50 billion and do that plan. So I said, so that's the only way we can tap that money. Okay, so which license are we going to buy? That is a bold step. A lot of people don't understand that you can't go into a regulatory business without your eyes open. It's a bold step. For every business you do, I beg you, don't imagine the business you started that does marketing to be the one to structure the business you are going into. Let me explain that. Most real estate organizations, thank you. Most real estate organizations, they are typically marketing firms. If you are into real estate and you are doing site and service, you open the land, you cut into 2 plots, and you start selling. You are still a marketing firm. The day you open the plot and you build prototype of houses and then you sell to the public, that's when you have become a real estate. I understood that very well. Because you can't claim to reduce housing deficit and then you don't build a house. Hello, is somebody following me? So you must be on your mind that is either I recapitalize the business, because it is not the same people that does site and service that builds the houses. You need to know that a property company is different from a construction company. But the kind of real estate we have today, we are the one to buy. So we took that both steps and we're able to acquire a mortgage bank. Consistency. We kept refining our approach to meet up with new emerging. Now, what are the new emerging realities? One of the things I said now, you need to start understanding that the big players in the business don't say stories, don't talk about street stories. The big players in the business don't expect you to not do the needful. So when you want to play in that industry, the big players industry, you must do the needful. First of all, getting yourself licensed for doing the business you're doing. You know, there are so many things. I used to tell people that there's nothing like illegality in business. Even for structured environment, if you want to register a bank, for instance, the first thing they do is to ask you, what name did you want to use? Let me use Kolawole, let's say Kolawole Bank Limited. They say, yeah, go to CAC, go and register. So you get to CAC. CAC will tell you, this is the minimum number of units you can register as a bank. You come out from CAC, you go to CBN. CBN will ask you, where is your office going to be located? You say, okay, this is my office. So they come, they check, they look at your strong room, they see that you are okay, they go back. They will not say, we are giving you approval in principle. Now, that is the illegality. How can I have an approval in principle and you're expecting me to go and start? Please understand what I'm saying. You gave me approval in principle. It means you are not sure if I will be approved or not, but go and start. They expect you to have customer base before you can have approval. How? Without a license. So that you are starting a business now, doesn't have a license, doesn't mean you are doing illegal things. The intention of your mind is what's key. Make sure you don't fall to EFCC before you got the approval. So they expect you at that period that you have approval in principle not to make any mistake. Because if you do, they will nail you down without a license. You say you don't have a license. But you are the one that says I should go and start. So that period is a period where they need you to have a minimum of 300 customers without license. This is the country we find ourselves. I was fortunate to understand most of these things because we're going into this sector. The one in the oil and gas is bad, sir. It's really, really bad. So when you want to play in these industries, you have to understand what you are doing. So our consistent mandate is for every business we are going into, for every decision, we must have a mandate. The period when we started from real estate and the period where we got to where we are, for every decision, mandate must follow. When we decided that you want to raise the real estate business and have a mortgage bank, there was a mandate attached to that decision. When you have a vision that is so strong and you have a leader that's very courageous, what makes you win in business is the mandate you pull up at every decision you make. Let me give you one example. You decide to register a company to start, say, you want to start agricultural business. The vision is very clear. The vision of the business is you want to take over the business space. You know what you are doing. But you must have a separate mandate for the reason why you are going into agriculture. You want to go into real estate. Maybe you are doing banking. There must be a mandate that you want to follow that makes you want to go into the real estate business. It has nothing to do with your vision. Your vision is clear that every business you go into is to now take over the business space. But there must be separate mandate for every decision. You decide to buy a car for the management. What is the mandate behind it? What exactly do you want to achieve? It will not be captured by the vision. It will be captured by mandate. It is very important for you to know that. So I'll be talking next on my lessons in business. You see, this first one is very tough. That's where business people take decision. Mr. Olorunsheyi was saying something that when he was in Canada, in short, I was one of those people that was feeling for you. And I discovered that those people did exemplary well. I was saying it. I told my people, I said, he has a structured environment, don't worry, you'll be fine. Because a system that you have put in place can make you or destroy you. It would have been an opportunity for all the people in pertinence to become rich, Avisa. But when you trust people, when you trust the right people, with the system you have created, you will go far. The first issue I had was trusting people to sign checks. Everybody has that issue, Navi. Is there anybody here that you know, now, I don't know where you're from, and then you just react. Today, I have more than 20 of them signing checks. We have over 38 accounts. I think I'm only signatory to 2. Trust. When you put the right people in the right place, heaven will help you. The trust that they have in your dream and how far they know how they can go with you will make them not mess up. When you pay somebody very well, it won't steal your money. When the vision is very clear, it won't steal your money. Hello? When you hire like minds, it won't steal your money. I remember that anytime I come to the office on Monday, there's this prayer I used to pray with my team. I'll tell them, oh yeah, prayer point. Lord, whoever I have put in a position that is not supposed to be there, Lord, remove them. And you see that its prayer will be very silent. Because there is human mistake. And I think you are a trusted person and you might not. Your values, everything about you, your values are showing that, yeah, you can be trusted, but you might not. Probably because you've not seen 100 million before. So I said, oh yeah, pray. Lord, if it is me that they put in and I'm not doing well, Lord, remove me. Well, they don't pray that prayer. Some of them pray anyway. So the second one is people. The kind of people you bring in your system. I have 2 sets of people in my organization. There are some set of people that they don't see their position as privilege. I was there when you were wearing boxers. Me, I was there. You see that first car? I knew your first car. I was there when you were talking to the landlord to give us credit. Those set of people are in the business. Then you now have the ones that are hardworking. They brought in with they came in with profession. No, we can do this, sir. They want to show you that, yeah, they have the capacity. You have those set of people. And then when you mix those set of people together, I want you to imagine hiring somebody that has worked for probably a finance house, has worked for the bank, is an ED in one of the banks before you retire, and you want to hire that person to manage the business for you. And the person is standing, and one boy somewhere that joined you in business when you were starting, that only has primary school certificate, is also standing. And he's the one that will talk to the ex-ED that you are bringing in. How do you marry those kind of people? Do you think you'll be like, that place is not structured? See the way the people are talking to me. Do you think I'm a small boy in the business? I hope you understand what I'm saying. That is why most businesses that you find today, they have issues with structure, not because they didn't create one, but the people that are managing the structure has defects. They can't work together. So here's the reason why our business is split into profit center and catalyst center. The catalyst center are the people that have been there before anything. We knew when you bought your first car, they are here. The new ones that are coming in with their PhD, their Lagos Business School certificates, they are here. So when you are talking to this one, you'll be motivating them. It is important. You can go far in life. That's how you motivate this one. But this one, you say, I need results. Which motivation? You told me you can do this. 6 weeks, if you don't do it, you are fired.
Hello, two different people. So you have to have an understanding of how to relate with individual people in your organization and where to put them. They are not the same people. This leads me to this topic of leadership and being a boss. There is a fine line between both. Someone that doesn't have a reason, why will I be a leader to an SED? Give me results. Hello, I don't want to be a leader. Give me results. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I talk to people on this side of the divide, I always tell them, see, when you came in, this is what you told me. You said in 6 months, we will achieve this. With your expertise, with all the things you need. Didn't I give you all the things you needed? Yeah. You needed the house to live in VI, I provided it. You needed the car, I provided it. You want your office to be in the main street of VI, I provided it. So what else do you want? Give me results. But this one's here, they didn't ask you for anything. They were only trusting God that you remember them one day and give them a car. Hello? But yet they are the ones that are doing all the job. So they need you to motivate them to continue doing it because I didn't ask you for anything. I didn't ask you to give me money. But last month, I brought 50 million into the business. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you must be able to know where people belong to and how to manage them. They are not the same people. The third one is courage, which I've explained, and then leadership. You see the leadership issue. Most of the time, most leaders, practically, they know what to do, but they find themselves difficult in doing it. I've seen so many times when the people that start the business with me, you have to be very careful about how you define these kind of things. They will misbehave. And probably it's an offense that you are supposed to fire them. But because they've been in the business, I'm warning you, last time. That is where your leadership traits comes in. Some people say, no, I don't take nonsense, the person must go. Don't forget, he was one of those people that wrote the business plan when you started. Now, some people cannot live in your space now because it's extremely professional for them. They didn't develop themselves. They didn't develop their capacity. But then some of us don't even trust our CFO. Is that bad? Am I sure? You will hire a CFO, you hire 2 accountants to be micromanaging the CFO. So I'm going to go into these 2 questions. And I would like it to be a conversation. I'm not a speaker, presenter, I just do business. So I have these 2 questions. What builds courage in business? What kills courage in business? For someone like me that is enlightened when it comes to starting a business, I know that most of the time, when you write your business plan or when you go into a particular decision or an idea and the thing fails, it makes you look so dumb that you will be like, what's in bed you? They call people that take courage, that is something that kills courage. The first time you had an idea, you go into it, you fail. The second time you fail, you want to take caution and say, this courage thing is not for me. But when you take a decision, it's very easy to define courage when you take a decision and it pays off. So many of us that are speaking today, I wouldn't have been in this podium if those decisions did not pay off. So many people are seated here. You have taken serious steps, massive risk, but it didn't pay off. So I'm going to advise that when you have courage in business and you want to take some particular steps, please seek expert decisions. It is not all decisions in business that can come to you in your dreams. Don't come out the second day and say, I had a dream. This is where we are going. Please don't do that to your business. Even when you have that dream, seek experts help. It is key. Mr. Olorunsheyi said something. They were about to move to stock market and somebody said, no, that is expert. See, somebody slept. I'm sure he's the one that slept. And decided that this is the next step to take. The way that seemed right to a man, the Bible was very clear about that. So don't say because this is the right thing to do, you just assume because you have courage, that is the right thing to do. You will ruin people's lives. For every decision you take that goes bad, somebody takes the fall. The new set of millionaires that are supposed to come in that scheme, they will not come. You have failed a lot of people. So it's important that when you are taking courage, please, I beg in the name of God, seek expert help. People and business. The first thing to do when you are going into business is you have to identify the right talents. I've said there's something extensively on that. Secondly, you have to understand your people. And then this last one, let me say much on this last one. Some people here, I've seen a lot of business people, they say, I'd rather have a talented person than have a loyal person. Loyalty is key in business. The reason why somebody will not take step to travel abroad, to go and stay there, instead of working with you, is loyalty. I've seen a lot of people in my business that they have enough money to say, let me buy tickets and fly and go. They could have done that. I remember there was a time I was doing training in the office. I was talking to leaders, and somebody came and I said, who is that person? They said the person came from Canada program. You know, when you are training your leaders, and the lady wants to come and present to them the reason why they need to relocate to Canada. Does that make sense to you? So I went to the security. I said, anybody that is doing travel business here, don't let them enter my office. Okay. Loyalty is key. You know, some people have 5 million. They don't even know with 5 million they can relocate. So somebody will not come and tell them, me. And I know most of them have 5 million. Okay, so now let me go to the next one, please. I'm trying to make time. Our friend, how I use human capital development to win in business. For everyone I employ into the Catalyst Center, one of the things we do to them is when they come in, we try to look at their dreams. What do they want to achieve in life? So when they tell us, we try, okay, you know what, this is where you need mental development, this is where you need to increase your value and all of that. So the next thing is to show them a structure at which they can grow from an associate to become a managing director. Don't forget, human capital boils down to human mentality, the way they think, what's on their mind. Everyone out there that you see wants to be a boss one day. Do you know that's critical? You must identify that. Everyone you see carrying brown envelope looking for a job wants to sit in a comfortable office, drive a comfortable car, and live in a comfortable house. I hope you know those are basics. So any opportunity that you present to anyone that doesn't guarantee them that is not an opportunity. So the first thing we did was to make our business to be presenting that to anyone. So when they come in, they know they have opportunity to be able to have the basics. I run an organization that the number of cars we have, I think, is over 200. Because it is not about the car you give them, it's about settling their basics. When your staff is not hungry, they will focus on the vision. So the first thing that thing does, that system does, is to clean you up and provide the basics. When I have a car, I have money to eat in my house, and I have a vision in my hand. I will keep following the vision because I know it can make me a billionaire. I was somewhere earlier this year, we had a program, and because of COVID, I was stressed. COVID made us become virtual. Me, I don't know anything about Zoom until COVID came. Then I said, I want to do national training on Zoom. I said, so how will 500 or 1,000 people converge? The first Zoom meeting I had about 300 and something people. I said, this thing is working on. Who makes sense? Who makes sense? Because we're at home. And I felt when you lose touch with your people and they don't remember the vision, they run after something else. People are hungry. I discovered that most Nigerians even like earning daily. They like to know what they will earn. So when they are home and they don't earn anything, GLNG will start appealing to them. And that's when they will know that there is money in pure water, there is money in all those things. Say, oh, get here, one on Takashun, things will start appealing. Oh, yeah, get me on Zoom. So, so I started looking at, I must talk to these people. Anyhow, I went on social media. I did a training on Instagram. It did not work. It didn't capture people. So eventually when we got it right with Zoom, before we were able to resume back, I was able to get in contact with over 1,000 people on Zoom, reminding them to stay steadfast that this is the right time to take over. Before COVID, on a monthly basis, I don't like calculating our turnover on a yearly basis. On a monthly basis, we're doing like $500 million. So I was saying, COVID, that's the excuse we give ourselves, COVID. So I said, you know what, we are coming back because all the money market has given way. It is time to take over the business space. So we came back in May with a mandate. It is time to move from unstructured to structured. So everybody started running that mandate. The mandate was very clear. We are making $2 billion per month. So everybody started running. May, June, July. By August, we started hitting 1 billion, 1.5. Now, that can only be possible because there was already a system that guaranteed more than a basic life. So human capital development is very key in any successful business. You must understand the welfare of the people that are coming in. You know one funny thing, any business that doesn't have marketers cannot move forward. I also understand that. So we made marketing job look like a bank job. So you see somebody coming and say, who do you work for? I work for Oxford International Group. As what? I'm an associate. You be like, you, associate, and you're driving this car. Hello, most of our people earn higher than people that work in the bank. You know what it means for you for Diamond Bank to migrate to Access Bank, and almost 50 people say, let me work with you, because they are your account officers. Yeah. So we are changing the norm. One of the things I pray more, I do more in the business, is to make becoming successful a normal thing. That's why you see an ordinary person will come and they will just send me a message and say, sir, I want to thank you for the opportunity. My commission this month is 3 months, 3 million. I say, oh, you are coming up. Because I want him to know he has not done anything. He will say, I'm coming up. Okay, sir, I will try, sir. Because you didn't encourage him. There are some people in our organization that success is becoming relative. It's a normal thing. So that is how to develop human capital. I remembered when we're drawing the structure of the Catalyst Center, and I felt, okay, can one GMD run 300 organizations? Of course, that's not possible. So we started breaking them down. We broke them down into pieces. So we have so group. You know, it got to a point, I was in a meeting, and then a GMD walked up to me and said, sir, the way I'm seeing things, my group is big, and I think I want to retire. I said, wow, great. I said, but you know what? Instead of you to retire, let's merge. And under my nose, I started seeing different groups doing merger. A company with 10 companies, another one with 20 companies merged together. What do you think happens to that GMD? I have a GMD that earns 6 million a month. So, and you'll see there, you'll be wondering how. So when that GMD is speaking to people that I earn 6 million a month, they'll be looking at, what's that money? When people make money in your business, what it means is your business is viable. When people's lives change, not 1, not 20, not 100, change under your leadership, that means the product you are selling is what? Viable. So the success story did not come from all the businesses. It came from understanding human capital management. It came from understanding. I remember we had a program late, I think 2 or 3 months ago. So I came to that program and I gave out 4 brand new cars. It will shock everybody at that time that I don't even own one. And I told them, I'm giving you guys brand new car, but I don't own one. And everybody became emotional. That's how a leader does. And that's how to build human capital management. What they think in their head is key per time. What they feel about you and how you feel about them matters. Where you are going and how you want to establish it matters. When I was moving from the mainland to Lekki, it was a very bad decision at the time because I had to go and borrow money to rent house. Is it funny? And people were like, why? Is it by force? Stay here, the worst you can do is to move from one estate to probably Ikeja. It's still better for you. I said, no, I want to move to Lekki. That is strategic. You cannot run a business where you don't know. So when I moved to Lekki, I discovered that there is a whole different ball game entirely. I will be seeing people that are telling me, no, they rather do it or die try. I said, but we don't have this kind of people on the mainland. The kind of stuff we have, you'll be begging them, Ejo. They'll tell me, we set up a company in Lekki. Anytime I see for interview, you see a staff coming to meet you and say, I can give you 50 million, what will you give me? But the kind of question I ask on the mainland is, what can you give me? I'll say, can you give me 50 million? They say, well, I'm very anyway. Serious, Gary, 1 million. So it's 2 different terrain entirely. So I said, you know what? I think I need to move to this area. Today, I have more than 10 people that have moved to the island because of business. Now, whatever you want to happen in your organization must start with you. I told myself 2021, I want to start touring the world. What am I touring for? What am I looking for? Let's look at other business opportunity and business space. Because anybody that earns local currency in business now, you are just joking. Convert your turnover and you go and cry. I say, okay, you know what? What's the essence of any 1 billion when it's just small change in dollars? Let's move to the other terrain. So you get to the embassy. I go to the embassy and they are doing here. I say, okay, you know what? My team, I need a second citizenship. And that's how I bought a second citizenship. I can go anywhere I want. There are some specific mandates that you create that shapes the whole of it. Now, everybody in my team now wants second citizenship because nobody wants to go and queue at the embassy anymore. Listen to me. The courage you have can translate to others. So when you talk about 5 billion, nobody's shaking. When you talk about 10 billion, because they know for you to have a particular business, your capital base must be as high as 5 billion. So it doesn't make anything to them anymore. So it's key for you to understand human capital development and to create a winning team for you. The importance of mandate in business growth, like I was saying earlier, mandate is like the short form of the bigger vision. It's like a piece of cake in the whole cake. It's like when you cut out a little bit of the vision the company has to build other people that are coming under them. So for every decision, when we went into agriculture, man, what I found in that sector was very difficult. I felt, you know what? I don't like going into a business that I'm not sure. I don't want to just go into a business because people are going into it. I want to go into a business and make a change. Okay, so the government, everybody is talking about agriculture. What exactly are they talking about? So I discovered that the normal agriculture people do is to have pigs, is to have chicken, those kind of agriculture. I said, okay, I don't want to do those kind of agriculture. I need what we call precise farming. So the first thing we did was to go into pepper. Pepper is exportable. It has off-takers. I said, okay, great, let's go into it. Ginger, yes. Turmeric. These are the kind of crop that people don't look into but had high value, especially ginger because of COVID. So we have off-takers locally and we have off-takers globally. So it's something that when you invest in can help you. But I was still looking for more because that's about profits. It's not about changing anything. If you export ginger to the tune of 5 billion, did you change anything? No, you're only making profit. So somebody came with an heritage investment and said, you know what? Maybe we should change the course of how agric is done in sub-Saharan Africa. I say, how? Teach me. And the man came with a proposal. You know what? We can establish a sterilizing plant in Nigeria. It will interest you to know that in the whole of Africa, we only have sterilizing plants in South Africa and probably Gambia. And because of these sterilizing plants, when you sell to off-takers, what they are supposed to buy at $100, they buy at $5 because those crops are not sterilized. So if I set up a sterilizing plant in Nigeria, I will make 19 African countries to come to Nigeria to do business. Wow, I think this is what I want. And that's how we went into it. Listen to me. Any business that doesn't rate a particular mandate to change the narrative is not worth a business. It's really making profits. Okay, I understand that so many of us, we are supposed to talk about how to have courage in business. I think I'm diverting a bit. Okay, so one of the things you need to know about why business will stand the test of time, like I have said, it was driven by what? Mandates. It's not just to go into it. There must be a particular mandate of what you want to establish in that business. It must be meeting needs. It must be building life for people. Don't forget, when you are solving problems, people's lives are changing. And this is what most Nigerians don't do. Building a legacy. Legacy business is way too expensive, and the timeline is very, very long. Timeline is very long. If you look at Coca-Cola, for instance, we're talking about 150 years. Hello? If you look at those conglomerates, there are businesses that have stood the test of time for a number of years. So when you're talking about legacy, you're talking about changing something for a long time. So most businessmen they are not disturbed about legacy. They just want to do something that creates change and change people's lives. And that's why they stop at number 3. But for every business you do, you must write a plan, a 5-year, a 50-year plan that can make it a legacy business. It's very, very key. Now, the uniqueness of Oxford came from four things. One, our business model. I can tell you sincerely, in Nigeria, all over the world, nobody has our business model. Nobody even understands what a catalyst center is. I've seen a lot of people come into the business and say, let's study what you are doing. But after they study, the only thing they got, or the only thing they understood, is owning a group company. That's the only thing they saw. But you can have, our business model is very simple. You can try and implicate it. It will help you. When you have a system all over the world that sells one thing, that's the business model. You know, you'll be thinking, how do I start? Maybe you should start from Korodu. Secondly, the people. The uniqueness of Oxford is in the people. People, we don't just hire people, we hire people that can understand where we're going, what we want to achieve as individuals, as an organization. We hire people that can fit into the system we have created. So the third one is platform, which I've explained extensively. You cannot hire somebody with a notion that is going to become a managing director of a company and will not kill himself for you. Should I come again? I have managing directors that manage 50, 60 people. In their locality, people are beginning to look at them as a big man. They say, oh, this man is a managing director of a company. They don't even know which company. You know, I have had problems with nomenclature. When people get promoted to become MDs, they will come to me and say, sir, I've attained that level and I want your advice. What name should I call my company? I say, no, you try, give me one, because your name must be synonymous to your vision, personal vision. So some people will say, and I want to start a bakery. So I'll call it Oxford Commercial Bakery. Some people will say, my vision is to sell gold. That's your vision. So call it Oxford something gold. Now, do you know why we do that? Because it's a mindset. When I'm the one that gave the company name, it makes it look like what? What? My own idea, my own people, my own desk, my own office, my own car. Tell me how that person will look for another platform. There is no need to look for another platform because this platform is yours. Do we understand that? So how many people think that way? It has to do with trust and people. And the platform, the model, the people, the platform, and lastly, the courage. Because when you don't have someone that has the same courage as you, they won't go all out to get the results. So every month, you see each MD sending me a message saying, I have so dream. I want to do this, I want to do that. I'll say, okay, the GC will listen to you. I remembered recently when I stepped down from being the chief executive, people were like, why now? He's just a young man. Step down, wow. And you know, when they stepped down, they said, okay, my next appointment with the chairman. The thing was so embarrassing. Like, how can you call someone like me chairman? I was like, wait, at any challenge, we have a challenge here. I knew there was a challenge because it's either people will be laughing or people will not understand what I am. So I said, you know what, can we stick to president? They say president cannot work because in the immigration of corporate governance, you can't have a president lead an organization. I said, okay, okay, so I have to stick with the chairman. So anytime I'm invited to meet anybody, they'll be expecting the chairman, and I'll show up. They'll be like, is the chairman still coming? I was embarrassed seriously in Abuja. You know, any office you enter, you say the chairman is coming. I was opportune to meet the CSO to Buhari. So he was expecting the chairman. So when I came in, he said, is he still coming? Where is he? I said, I'm the chief. He said, sorry, sit down. Because the name chairman is attached to older men in business. So it looks funny, but guess what? We, the youth, we are taking over. Understand this. So I told the man, I said, you're expecting someone older. I said, yeah, because the way they said, I said, no, this is me. 37 years people now want to own businesses. We want to share businesses. I'm a board politics expert. I understand what happens in board politics. So I can tell you sincerely what I know about chairmanship. So he said, so now that you are here, I wish we have an older person. I said, no, I'm the one you are talking to. You have to talk to me. I'm the last person in Oxford. Except you are expecting board of directors, but they are supposed to be in the boardroom. Okay, so youth needs to understand that there is no nomenclature for the old anymore. We are the one existing. I remember when I was speaking to some of the people that went to Lekki NSAS process. I said, okay, it's cool now to go to protest. When they are writing the history of NSAS now, they remembered AY Comedia came there. They remember DJ Switch. But what's your own name? Did they remember that you were there? When you don't have a name, what are you supporting? So I told them, the best way to take over Nigeria is when the young one, the youth, take over the business space. When a 24-year-old is the chairman of Bua Group, a 10-year-old, if it's possible, or a 15-year-old is the chairman of Coca-Cola. You understand? When Dangote decided to put his daughter, which is 24-year-old, the chairman of Dangote Group, that is when the business would, when the sphere of business will change. So when these money hunger politicians want to make money, they have to subject themselves to a youth to get money. That is the only way. That is the only way. So instead of us going to the street to fight, let's go do business. Let's get all the money that these big men are using for them. That's why I like my Diamondback friend. The guy was like, wait, what's the essence of holding to a bank when he doesn't? See, that's your own legacy. The Baba was saying it's my legacy, so that's your own legacy. What's my business? Let me cash out. Because the youth have one thing to achieve than just owning legacies. So somebody will sit in a bank and be using it to fund politicians, but it's different now. So the best way is to go into business. Let's go take over the business space. Come out of your shell. Own corporations. Take big step. I understand that so many people have $1 billion in their account and they are looking at, okay, let's keep doing it small. There's nothing like that. In the business space of Nigeria, you have to move as fast as possible. I also tell businessmen in most of the conferences I've gone to that this is the best period to take over businesses. So I was at French Week last week, and some youth were pushing me. I said, is 50% for sale? You know, some people were like, tell me about your business. We are into waste management. We use Star 3 Series 7 to collect waste. I said, very good. It's 60% for sale. And the guy was like, no, sir, we are not looking for investors. You are not ready. So you can take over businesses, grow them, and make them a bigger businesses. By the time recession is over, by the time pandemic is over, those businesses will come back strong and start making money. So these are the things that we have used courage to achieve. And before I close, I'll also talk about how to win in business. Number one, don't break a promise. Something happened to me in the early days of business. The marketers we recruit at that time, you know, because we are looking for money now, so you'll be, or when you live in Banana Island, you'll be motivating them. You will drive brand new car. You will do this one. So when the money came, those people were looking at me. Banana Island, we are waiting. Brand new car, we are waiting. You know why I understood this very well? Because I was running after their race. That if I can get to buy a brand new car for this person, then it means our story has changed. I needed to have people that drive brand new car in my organization. So that was what was pushing me to do a lot. So when that time came, I made sure. I did not just say, oh, come on. Apart from the fact that we are giving out houses, I also gave out a brand new car. Guess what? That was the promise in 2016. Guess what? I wasn't even the one that made the promise. The people that made the promise have left the business. But for every promise that is made, you have to keep it. When you make a promise to your clients, you told them, I'll pay you so amount at so time. You now say, oh, because of pandemic, never break a promise. Even if you have to go all out to sweat and get it done, please do it. Never break a promise. It's automatically to say that never go down on integrity. Secondly, keep a steep upper leaf. Now, entrepreneurship is hard, succeeding is harder. Just when you think you have everything, a setback comes your way. If you must last in business, you can't get discouraged when small fire starts up. That's why I look at a lot of people when they were talking. There was a time I was in a particular meeting and people were discussing extensively about how their business had failed during COVID. I wanted to contribute something where I discovered that I had people that have given up on themselves. So I just said, but we are not the effort. Because I don't know what to tell them anymore. So how can you be talking about lifting up when every other person is talking about casting down? So I decided, you know what, it is where we'll be fine. But the truth is, most businesses that wants to change the face of the narrative of anything they go into, this is the time they are surviving. It is during this period that Paystack was bought for $200 million. When we are not dead. How? This period. If they had told me earlier, probably I would have also pushed them. I didn't know. Don't understand. You need to understand that there are so many businesses during this period that are doing well. Do you know why? Because their business model can change the narrative of business. They don't have the common business model. Most of the people that are leading those businesses, they have foresight. And that is why they were able to trample over. Most people that are doing real estate now, The only challenge we have is that most of our customers are not paying once. The ones that are paying once are either businessmen that are stealing, or the ones that are doing a bit well, or probably they are from diaspora. So if the only thing you do is real estate, man, I give it to you. But if your business model starts with real estate and it still has a long way to go, this is the time to shine. There are so many sectors in the business space that are doing well at this moment. The last one is always keep in touch. A lot of businesses keep with customers. When doing acquisition phase, they are with customers, but afterward, they don't. See, one of the things I've learned about customer relationship is your customer needs you to keep talking to them even when they are not paying. Someone was telling me about Third World War. At that time, when there was war, the only brand that keep coming out to risk their life to share drinks to people were Coca-Cola. So when the Third World War ends, the only drink they could remember, the ones that are surviving, the only one they could remember is Coca-Cola. And that's what brought them to where they are today. So during the time of pandemic, when your business is stressed, the best thing you can do to your customer is to keep getting back to them. Letting them understand that you understand what they are going through and why they need to keep doing business with you. I want to conclude this way. If anybody comes to tell you that starting a business is easy, that's not true. If anybody tells you to win in business, you need X, Y, Z to get it done, there is no straight way to get out of street entrepreneurship. As I learned that from Mr. Niyi, he said we are street entrepreneurship. A street entrepreneur is somebody that came from an unstructured environment. Abi? The best way is to switch yourself into structured environment so that the street entrepreneur in your CV can be removed. So make sure that your business that is in the unstructured environment moves to the structured. The best way to do that is when you diversify. Don't get it twisted. I've always lectured people in real estate that the company you have now that is doing certain service is basically a marketing firm. Move your business to a structured environment. Investors that invest big time don't invest in unstructured environments. Please, if you seek any investor, you seek any venture capitalist that will put money in your business, they don't venture into unstructured businesses. So you have to move to a structured business so that investors, your business can start appealing to investors. Can you do without investor in your business? No. It's not possible. Can you run your business with the money you make, with your daily income? No, it's not possible. You need someone to believe in you. You need someone to put money in your business, and you need someone to change the face of business. One of the mandates we raised this year is that we want to take over the business space. Now, taking over the business space is not limited to any business. It's limited to all sectors. We want a situation where when you mention any sector in this country, our name is on the forefront. So I implore you, you might have a business today and you are seated here, and then the business is looking like maybe one leg is inside and one leg is outside. Let's see your business model. Oxford might be interested. I'm pushing you now. So am I funny? You have a business in any of the sectors of the country, because Oxford International Group is intending towards becoming a venture capitalist. So when we look into your business, and we see the viability, probably the little bit of dollars, that's what you need to get it to the next level. Please approach us. And I'm sure Mr. Niyi will let you have our contact, and then we do business together. My Oga said, Mr. Olorunsheyi said, this is the time people need to collaborate. You need that 55% to get off you so that you can move forward. All you need is to relinquish 55%. As a matter of fact, you can even relinquish 100% and you become an idiot. You know? So what you need right now is injection. Some of you, what you need is structural change. You don't even need customer retention. You don't need anything. You just need structural change. So somebody will come in and say, hey, you know what? This, and then the whole business changes. That's what you need. So when you need me, you call on me. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please put our together for Dr. Teni Adesanya, Chairman, sir. Wow. Can we round off now? Wow. If some of you can just stand up and just stretch for a few minutes. It's been a long one. I think this is the first one that, we were just enjoying. Some people didn't even want to go out. They just wanted to get everything. One of the things that the last word that you said is the best is reiterating what, or saying what Mr. Olorunsheyi said, the best competition right now is collaboration. He deserves a round of applause once again. Can we celebrate him? We'll be going for lunch shortly. We'll be going for lunch shortly, but we want to take questions from them. I know some people have some questions you want to ask, so we'll be taking the questions right away before we go for lunch. We have enough food for everyone. It's a buffet. You eat what you want to eat. It's yours. You paid for it already. We're not. So we're going to allow. Do you have questions? You can take. You want to have written, or you want to? We'll get the mics to you. Ask questions, please. We're ready. At this time, I bring back speakers. Please put us together, Mr. Olorunsheyi as he comes, and celebrate Dr. Teni Adesanya as he comes, the chairman, and then the convener. Please put us together for my mentor, Mr. Niyi Adesanya as he comes to. I think he will be coordinating this session. Can you let me move the altar? Sorry, the podium. Yeah. The pulpit. Yeah. So, do we have questions? You could take live questions. Do you have questions right away so we can take it? Okay. Yes. So please, you tell us your name, your genotype. I said genotype. Sorry. Tell us your name and what you do, and then are we good? Do you have a mic, sir? All right. I think I'll just give you this one. Your name, sir?
My name is Olorunsheyi. My genotype is A.
You asked for it.
I want this question to go to Mr. Niyi Adesanya. The two speakers have spoken, and also from what we gathered yesterday. And at some point, Mr. Sunday actually said, it is not about us or what we can do for the people. And I was looking at it seems a bit contradictory with what we heard yesterday when he said the lady defined leadership as achieving your own goal, achieving our goal, and achieving their goal. So that's what I wanted to be to Mr. Niyi. How do we clarify on this? It doesn't look like, I want to understand it better, because if you are saying it's about them, I went to a secondary school called John F. Kennedy, and it says, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. But at the same time, another speaker said, some people were like, what is our own? So please, I just want a broader clarification on some of this. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Don't worry, I'm trying to get one. Hello?
Can we please,
Hello?
on the mic, it's not an honorable minister?
If I can.
Okay, I think you don't have to off his mic. Yeah.
Mr. Shegun Abi, good. We are all still on the same page yesterday and today. What I think was Vera that said it yesterday, that you first achieve your own goal, and then it's first you, and then the team, and then you now turn to the other people. It's a process. Yeah. Because, when Sunday was saying today that the focus on the people, they had focused on themselves first, not in terms of making money, but in developing themselves. Yeah. And then Teni also said that nobody will follow a dummy. So it's first about self-leadership. After you've done self-leadership, then you begin to do team leadership, and then after a while, you begin to focus on the people. Now it's like being dependent, independent, and then interdependent. So that's the first. We Because you can't lead me if you have not led yourself. What are you leading me to? You don't even know the destination. You've not figured out your vision and everything like that. But when it comes to material things, blessing other people and making sure that every other person is happy, just like he does a very good job with that, what you now do is that instead of you taking everything to yourself, you make sure that other people get a lot of things done. When the first recession started in Nigeria, recession has started, I told people that the best way to keep your company going forward is to slash the allowance of the CEO. Because actually the allowance of the CEO and the top executive is even much more than cutting the people's salary. And that's the sacrifice you make. So that's when you now begin to look at the people first before yourself. I worked in an establishment that then we were struggling. Let me just be straight. Daystar Christian Center. We were not having all the resources when we were growing. But this is what they do. They start paying people, the junior ones, and then they start raising it up. If there is no money, the most senior guys don't get paid. They wait for the next month for them to be paid. I guess that's what Vera was trying to do. Tell us when she said, first you, and then the team, and then helping them succeed as individual. We are all on the same page. I'm sure of that. Hope that's clarified. Thank you.
Do we have any other person that has question? Or you have anyone with you?
There's a hand there.
Is that? No. Just, okay, sir. Tell us your name, what you do, and then the question.
My name is Sonny. I have a question. Oxford International Group. So, okay, I have a friend who he's a tech guy. He implemented a platform, cross-border, a payment solution. So he spent like a month plus, built the solution and all that. And upon trying to launch it, he got to understand that there are some regulations. It's not something you can just roll out there and start allowing customers use it for payment. So the question is this, because he spent time doing this solution, but trying to roll it out, regulations, he got to understand regulations from CBN, some other, and this is a startup, this is a young guy that he can't afford the money that's required for those certifications that's expected to launch the solution. So my question is this: how can such a guy move forward? What can he do? Because now he's just like the product is just on the shelf. At least the last time I spoke with him, he's moved into something else. That one is already on the shelf. So how can such a guy be able to? He has fantastic ideas. There's other ideas, but regulations and all that are the problem.
I think you got the question. You got the question? It's directed to you.
You should just retreat.
Okay, so a friend of mine has a product, a platform for payments. It's a cross-border payment solution. So the thing is, he built the solution and tried launching it. Upon trying to launch it, he got to understand that there are some regulations, CBN regulations, some certifications that are required for him to roll out that product. But because he can't afford the money that is required for the solution, he just dumped that at the shelf. So he can't move forward. So my question is this. Sometimes we might have good, fantastic ideas, but because of the environment we find ourselves, we can't roll out. We have the skills to execute those ideas, but we can't roll out because the financial enabling environment is not available. So how can we tackle such a problem?
Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay. First of all, you need to understand that person, when I was saying what I was talking about earlier, I said when you are starting a business, the first thing you look for is not the investor. Now, before he created that system, if he had done his research, he would have known that he will need social license. So he will first go and develop an IT solution and later get to know that there's a license he needs to get. Now, at that point, he has not done due diligence before he even started that startup in the first place. So someone like that is even risky to invest in. So you can't assume failure and then expect anybody to understand exactly what you want to achieve. It's not an excuse to say, I didn't know that they were supposed to have a license. If the person is sitting in front of me, I will ask the person, do you have a friend that knows better than you, that knows the business more than you? Because the person has actually shown that he cannot be trusted in business. Now, the best way to go about this is simple. You have developed an IT solution. The best thing to do is to sell that IT solution to a company that needs it, that will now eventually get a license and move forward. But if that person still wants to keep that IT solution business, he will have to find a way to get his own license by himself. But you can't go in front of an investor and say, I created an IT solution, I didn't know. That person is not fit to run that business. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do we have any other person? Any other person? Question? 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 Sir?
I think interestingly, I have a question for the two of them, but I'm on the panel also. But I think I can ask my question.
Yes, you can ask your question, sir.
I think my question should go to Sunday first. Okay. I've seen what you guys have done. You exited management, top management, and you put people there, and then they are holding their grounds. There must be a process to that. So what are the processes so that we can learn from that? You said you were in Canada for 6 months, and then you were making more money.
Yeah.
I want to be in Canada for 6 months also. I'll be making more money. So what are the processes? What did you put in place? And then how did you select those people? How did you put them in that position so that we can pick up some few things and then move on with that? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. And thank you, Teni. It might interest you to know that myself and Teni were classmates in the university. Wow. Same course, same set. Wearing the most brilliant student in school.
You were my pastor in school.
Okay, he was attending my fellowship on campus too. So we've been together from way back, and that was a powerful session. Thank you very much. The question, I think I have the answer on the board there. What we were able to do. Firstly, we invested in developing leaders. Developing leaders is hard work. It's easy to gather followers. All you need to gather followers is results. If you have results, people will follow you, even if you are stupid. So long you have results. So if you go to social media today, the most influential people are not necessarily the people that have the most followers. I don't think Dangote has up to 1 million followers. The last time I checked on Instagram, it was 500 and something. As at now, I don't know how many. But that was still recent, some 2-3 months ago. So less than 1 million followers on Instagram. And we have people that look, I don't want to use the word, but yet they can have 10 million followers, 5 million. So it means once you have little result in terms of achievement, what people tag as success, it's easy for people to follow you. But those are followers. But you know your job is not to raise followers, but to grow leaders. That is where the work is. You invest your time, your talent, you invest your resources, your treasures in growing leaders. Now, you pay a lot of sacrifice in getting that done. We have shared a few, Teni has shared a few today also, how that you will have to go through some pain. Maybe the things that you should enjoy, you put them aside because you needed to show these guys that you believed in them and you needed to boost their, what do I call it? Confidence about the capacity that is inherent in them and what they can achieve. Because for me, leadership development has always been about getting people that are better than me to work with me. Awesome. People that are smarter, people that are wiser, people that can go the extra mile beyond what I've even done. So you invest time, treasures, talent in them. Once you are able to grow leaders, that is the starting point. The leaders will always grow the people because it's more like a cycle. That's their responsibility. They will keep growing the people. So it means the larger the size of your leadership, the larger the people you have in your team. But one very important one you can't do without in this age and time is technology. Like I said, we woke up to that just about less than 4 years ago, but when we woke up to it, we knew we were late. So we needed to invest heavily in technology. So one of our major cost center in our business today is technology. The highest paying guys in our system today, apart from the guys that are at the echelon of leadership, they are the guys that are working in anything that has to do with technology, the programmers. We do everything to ensure we keep them. They do a lot in transforming our business. And a lot of what they are doing now might not even show in 2-3 years. It might be 5, 10, 15 years from now that the actual result of our investment in technology will begin to yield. So that's why today we have not less than 3 companies that are purely driven by technology. If you talk of hosting today, the hosting firm that we own is one of the biggest in the country today, Host Now. At a point, it had some challenges. We took over the leadership, and today we have a brand new Host Now. So when you talk about hosting in the country today, most people host with Host Now. I'm not doing badly. Data First is there, developing a lot of technology, and all of these businesses taking a lot from us. When we were to acquire microfinance, we told ourselves we'll go the technology way. So when we started Petty Save many years ago, or some few years ago, we did not start it because we wanted to compete with the conventional bank. We knew technology will give us an edge. That's why when we acquired the first microfinance bank, our mindset was technology. When we went for the second microfinance bank again, we are wondering why 2 microfinance banks. They all have strategic positioning they are taking in the banking industry. And it's all about technology also. So these 3 things, once you are committed to leadership development, you grow them, like I said, invest your time, your talent, and your treasures in them. They will grow the people. And once that aligns, the leadership and the people, technology will make things run seamlessly. So whilst I was away, I did not have a single headache, no sleepless night at all, because we have a system running the business. Now that I'm even back in Nigeria, I think I get to go to the office maximum twice a week now. You know, I'm a very scarce resources. So anytime I come, everybody wants to do everything they want to do. They can't tell the 2 days I will come. So I can afford on a Monday morning to wear agbada to the office now, or parasuit, as they call it. Because we have a system that runs that does not need me. And I will say it again, I'm proud of those guys. They're intelligent, they are amazing. Everywhere I go, I talk about these guys. I have some of them here. Damilade is there, Jeffrey is there, Osubu is there, I have 2 daddies. These guys are amazing. If you engage them in a conversation, you understand what I'm talking about. You wish you have them on your team. And for us, that's how we're able to put system in place.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Sunday. Let me just throw in a question and you take the one from the Zoom. You know, you were saying something about developing people, which I know you also do very well. And one thing I know works for you is the phrase or the sentence that always goes with your name, which is to make people happy. You make your people happy. And I can say this categorically because you took 2 guys that are very close to me. And all I gave them was information. But what you gave them was empowerment. I mean, I gave them information, you gave them empowerment. And then right before my eyes, it was a boom. It was like an explosion. Just imagine that somebody who was in Agege before now has an office in Admiralty, yeah. I know he didn't go to Surulere. He didn't take the process to Surulere to Bagada and then start coming down. I mean, it was just that straight on. And that's what it does. And I want him to just talk to us about it. What is the idea behind making your people happy? Why do you do that? Just imagine he gave brand new cars to people. At that point, he doesn't have a brand new car. Remember also, I don't have a brand new car. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you, Teni. Okay, I think the issue will be overflowed if I keep talking about my reasons for doing what I'm doing. I'm selfless. I can give my eye for anyone. I also discovered that has really helped me to pave way for what I want to become in the future. Let me first start with the two guys. I'm trying to protect their identity, or if I don't know if I can.
Like 90% people don't know what we're talking about.
So when I came to Niyi Adesanya's program, so I had a chat with one of them who is a fashion designer person and all that. So he said, "Oh, I'll come and see you in your office." So we started relating. He would sew my clothes and all that. So there was this particular day he sat with me and said, "Wait, anytime I come to your office, there's this crap. What do you do?" That's how we started talking. And from that point, I knew that, okay, I've identified someone in the lifestyle entrepreneur circle. So I kept it in my mind that, okay, anytime I want to set up something in this regard, I'm going to call this guy. That's how I get people. If I interact with you today and I saw that, okay, you're an IT-driven person, and the solution we discussed is something I might need in 6 months.
So you need to interact with me today.
My eyes will be on you, and I will call you and say, "Hey, what can you do?" I just need to hear you speak. I just need, and so many times I train my people, see, you can go out there and somebody will say, "What do you do in 10 seconds?" You must have a precise presentation in 10 seconds that the person will know that, "Oh, are you saying this is what you do?" So the second person also, he invited me to come and speak in one of his programs. So I sat in that program and I saw that he said a whole lot. And I thought, you know what? I think I like this guy. If this guy is in my system, I would say I'll speak less. He will talk more, and that was why I started pushing it. So when he came in, I wasn't shocked. This one would say, "Oh, I need this guy to come and speak for me." I said, "Go ahead." I think so. He was speaking for people, and I told him, "Wait, you didn't come to speak here. You came to make money. So set up your own platform." He's one of the group managing directors today, and I tell you, I know he's making money. So this is how
you know he's making money. I don't know yet. You know, I will know.
He might not let you know.
He's hearing now, so because I don't see the check coming.
So I made it a mission to come to Niyi Adesanya's program to look at speakers and say, "Yeah, come." So maybe I might be going with 2 or 3 today, you know. So Mr. Teni will keep recruiting me once. I'll keep taking them.
I think I need to talk to my lawyer so I can prepare a commission.
But the beauty about what I do is to identify talents, and not just talents, somebody that can understand my own vision. So when they come in, I tell them it's not about you. We are coming to affect other people's life. Are you ready? Are you prepared for this? Now, no matter what discipline you bring into the business, there is always a platform for you to excel. So when I'm going to, I looked at, the lifestyle industry. We looked at, we want to go into fabric industrialization in the future. Let me first start with buying fabrics, making clothes, getting a designer name, and then putting the name out there. There's no way you will do a run show, and then the name of the international group will not be stashed as promoter of that business. So that's another way to put ourselves out there, saying, "Guy, can you come in? What can you do?" And that was how we aligned ourselves together and we move forward. So in business, it doesn't matter if the person starts with you, as long as there's a need for that person to come in at a particular time, we bring the person in. The most important is for the person's vision to align.
With your vision.
It's key. I've seen a lot of guys that have come into the system 1 month, 2 months, they wither away. Nobody even hears about them because they can't imagine themselves working for other people. Like, wait, what's going on here? I come to work for money. So those kind of guys, they don't last in our system. But when they come in and understand what we do, how to align their vision to ours. For instance, most of the things I do on a daily basis, after I became chairman, I had a female GC. She's there.
A very brilliant one for that.
She's somebody that I will close my eyes and say, I know most strategic decisions are taken by her. She will tell you, "Okay, you know what? I'll talk to my leader. I'll get back to you." She will talk to me and say, "What do you think?" He said, "This is what I think." I said, "Yeah, go ahead." Because that's how to teach them. Mm-hmm. And before you know, it got to a point, I don't get to hear that anymore. I'll just hear, "Oh, they took this decision." I'll be like, "Wow, great." But it is important to also identify our area of strength and area of weakness. That's why we bring in a GCO that will manage that management with her and all of that. So there are so many things we have created, not just about now, but about the future that is coming that we're anticipating, so that the people here can understand that, oh, we didn't just fall into business by accident. I used to tell my people, there's nothing like being rich by accident. There's nothing like you are accidentally successful. There's something like that. Every bit of little things that you don't even know you do is what brought you to where you are. So it can either bring you down or take you up. Awesome. But to be deliberate about business, the people that call the shots, it is important. If they are not professionals, they need to go learn it. If they are professionals, they need to develop themselves. And you that you are leading them, that is the organ that you are leading them, you must understand a bit of everything they do, which is key. So many times, like we want to go into a new business. I don't know anything about asset management, but I know that for us to stay in business, asset management is required. There is no way you want to go to money market without an asset license. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm about to share a company I don't know anything about. So I started reading about asset management, and somebody just came out. A consultant said, you know what? There is this particular committee under the board that you have to be very careful of the person you appoint in that committee. If not, the person can raise a coup d'etat, and then they will remove you as chairman. And I said, wait, on the company I created, they said, that's what regulating is all about. So you have to understand the business you are going into before you go into it. Or perhaps the person that will run it with you must have a bit of every knowledge, and that's how to win in business.
Okay. Thank you so much. Can we appreciate Dr. Teni Adesanya? I'm taking the last question now because I know that you have a question, but we need to go for lunch. We are way behind. I know we didn't come here for lunch, but we have to launch into the lunch. So yeah. Okay, so we're getting feedback from Zoom. Someone says odd session by Mr. Olorunsheyi. Someone is asking, can we get the contact of the speaker, Dr. Teni Adesanya, the bestest offer of the year, outfit presentation, fantastic, straight from the heart, insightful. Can we get the slides? Obviously, they can get the slides on Zoom. We'll send, thank you, Doctor. A lot of thank you. This is very brutal, like the Dragons 10. A lot of people, insightful session. We just keep, the last one is, how do you manage, this is coming from Top Mark, how do you manage partnerships and relate with co-founders? What legal contractual arrangements were made? Were there contracts that you made? So how do you manage partnerships? This will be the last one for this session. Sir.
All right. I was hoping we'll escape that today because there's virtually no platform I've been on that people will not ask questions about partnership. And we have decided to put a book together, Wisdom Ezekiel and myself, on partnership. And it's just to tell our stories and how people see how we have been able to thrive. I think one of the things that have made partnership work for me is because firstly, I made it work in my marriage. I say it without apologies anywhere that I have one of the best marriage that you ever desire. That's the truth. Now, it didn't come cheap. I saw it as a partnership, and from the beginning, we had the ground rules going into the marriage, and there were sacrifices I decided to make for the marriage to work, regardless of whatever challenge we come through. So when people hear me say that I've been married for 12 years and there has been no crisis, not even one, it looks strange, like, does it mean you don't argue? Why not? We argue. But I can tell you it has been a smooth sail. Now, that same model I brought into partnership because Wisdom Ezekiel and myself, we've been together for over a decade, but starting Pertinence was just over 8 years now, going to 9 years. And the foundation has to be very solid. So it started with working with someone that you have the same value system. Your destination must look alike. That's the first thing. So when we came together, we needed to answer the question of where are you going, where am I going? So when we defined our destinations and it looked alike, okay, we told ourselves we can go on this journey together. But going on this journey requires us to also have certain agreements. One of the biggest challenge in partnership has always been money. Money. Just like in marriages, the same thing, you have the money factor. In business partnership also, money can be a problem. So for us, we did something again. We shared the money before the money came. The best time to share the money is when there is no money. If you wait for the money to come before you start sharing the money, there will be crisis. So when there was no money, we sat down and agreed. We know we are going to make some good billions of dollars, not naira, very clearly. But you know your level now, I know my level. We both know what we are bringing to the table. Based on what we are bringing to the table, this is what you should expect, this is what I should expect. So we made that clear. So now, there's no money that comes in that will come in that will cause any problem. We have even overcome that. So what money do I need again? Because I'm a simple person in terms of acquiring material things. So there's really nothing I want to acquire any longer. I can live anywhere I desire to live in the world today. Any car I choose to drive, I can look at the bank account, but I will never do it. And just take money and buy any car of my choice. So if we have been able to overcome that to this level, it's simple. We decided it from the beginning. Of course, part of our value system that we were able to identify is the fact that both of us, we are not greedy people. Everyone has an element of greed. Take it or leave it, right? People wonder, he is Igbo, I am Yoruba, and they wonder, where did you meet? How did you, but listen to me, I think one thing stood out with us, and I may not want to apologize if you don't believe in my faith, but we are covenant friends too. So apart from being business people, we are both Christians. If you talk of this integrity game, we have been in it for long. And just like I tell people, if you want to call yourself a person of integrity, just wait. It takes time. It's easy. Maybe we're in this gathering now. Someone from your primary school is here. We have another person from your secondary school. Okay, let's even leave primary, that's elementary. Let's take your secondary school from this table. That table, you have someone that you went to university together, and the table behind there, you have a former colleague that you have worked together for 4 or 5 years. And the three of them do not know each other, but they know you. And you stood together, the four of you, and they all have something to say about you, and they say the same thing about your integrity. That is when you have gotten to a level where you can say anywhere that I'm a person of integrity. By privilege, I have enjoyed that. If you look at our business today, we are not the most innovative. We are not the smartest, but we enjoy grace coming from a foundation of integrity. Ask anybody that have done business with pertinence. Most of them did business with us because they can trust us, both of us. Because Wisdom Ezekiel has similar experience too when it comes to integrity. So for us, we both have that same foundation. So we didn't have to talk much for people to trust us. There's virtually nothing I need now that if I announce it, that I will not have people from all over the world that will respond. Every time we open an investment scheme, it doesn't take time for people to turn in because they can say these guys have been tested and they can be trusted. So for us, we have the integrity thing going for us. But listen to me, it did not end there. We have to document our relationship. If you want to go into partnership, I'm not saying you should not trust yourself. Trust is good. But the fact that I trust you does not mean I should not verify things. does not mean that we should not do what we should do when it comes to documentation. So from year one, we got a lawyer to draft a partnership agreement for us that was signed by both of us. Most of us go into partnership because you just met on the street. Many reasons why people go into partnership. Maybe they pulled out of somewhere, they just needed to come together to start something. They never sat down to structure it. So for us, we have a partnership agreement that runs. And for example, why did we give, I can share some of this now. Why did we give everything to the business? Part of what we had in the agreement, we said for the first 5 years, it doesn't matter the idea or the vision you have, you can't do any other thing but this pertinence. I can't do any other thing but this pertinence. So it's more like we burnt our bridges. You know, before we came on board, I've always been the jumping about type. I have so many things running. I have never been, I do, you know, like that. I had to drop everything and we focus, because for the first 5 years, mind you, you can't do anything apart from pertinence. If you decide to do anything by the second or third year, you have to excuse the business, regardless of your stake. These were things that were foundational. So because we burnt our bridges, both of us stayed glued and committed to the terms of the contract. Now, I will just say this, so many things to say. I will just say this finally about our partnership. The commitment we both have to the partnership is 100%. Regardless of our stake. If you see me represent pertinence or do things that has to do with pertinence, I give 100% attention to it. I behave as though I don't have a partner. If you see Wisdom Ezekiel handling pertinence-related issues, he puts his best into it as though I do not exist. That mindset has really helped us. So I'm not doing something and I'm looking back like, I have done 4. By now, Wisdom should have done 3 now. There's nothing like that. And for most partnership, once you start feeling like one person is doing more than the other, you start having some resentment. You start making some inner decisions that will affect the partnership. But one of the greatest things we have enjoyed is love. And that love we exemplified by our commitment to the business. So if I'm saying I love my partner, regardless of his weaknesses, I am there to cover for his weaknesses. So when we did the SWOT of ourselves, when we were going to start, we knew everyone's area of strength. I have never loved my area of strength over Wisdom Ezekiel. And he has never looked at my weaknesses. He has never taken advantage of my weaknesses. Wow. These are practical things that we work with that has sustained the business up until now. We have been through a lot together. We started the business from one cubicle somewhere in Akonwojo. And when people come to our office those days and they see both of us, they kind of, it's in a complex where you have not less than 107 lock-up shops. And, they just built it in suits just to make you feel like, okay, at least you have your toilet. It's all a lie. It's a shop. We started from a shop. And we separated. There's reception. There is everything in that small shop. When people come to us those days, you can't tell who is who. Both of us communicate as though, that's why we never had a CEO. It wasn't deliberate, but somehow we ran the business to the point that we handed over to our guys, and each of us never used that title CEO because we saw ourselves as servants. I'm not saying that should apply to your own partnership. I don't know how we managed it all through and like that. Now, from that small cubicle, today we have presence in several countries in the world, in Nigeria. I'm inviting some of us by December 17th. We'll be commissioning our corporate head office. It's a massive one, a 5-floor building with a 500-seater event hall on over 3,000 square meters of land in the mainland. We are small boys. We are coming to the island. We are going to sit there. But the island people that can get 50 billion at once, don't worry, we will come and meet you. But a business has started from that small place. And today, we are one of the few companies that don't just do real estate to sell properties to people. We own properties everywhere. So when you hear me talk about our tenants, we have them all over because it's a deliberate strategy and it's simple. One of the things I didn't talk about today is very key, is mentorship. That's why when I was going to write my first book, it was on mentorship. For us, one of our greatest strengths in business is the fact that we have credible mentors that we relate with. Talking about buying properties, we learned that from our mentor in real estate, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. How that when he went to Bishop Oyedepo sometimes ago, many years ago, to tell him that he was into real estate and blah, blah, blah. And after he finished all the talk, the bishop asked him, so where do you live? Where is he? Told him, is it your house? He says it's a rented property. He says you should work out from here. That you are not into real estate. You know, he shared that experience with us and he did not leave us. So when we went into real estate, as much as we were doing the site and services, we were deliberate about acquiring properties, building houses that we can see belonged to the company. And today, we have no regrets at all. And that's why I said it earlier. If I come to this world again and I want to do business, I will go the partnership way. And if I have opportunity to choose, I will choose Wisdom Ezekiel again. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. I know Sako wants to drive us out of this stage. He has every right to. What if you just give me like 2 minutes each? 3 minutes. I will have 1 minute. They will have 1 minute.
Okay.
Because I know we've had a relationship. It's good to be saddled between two billionaires. That means very soon I'll be a billionaire too.
Yeah, the father.
And it's good to also know that you also, the Niyi Adesanya brand, also advise and also coach billionaires, which is very, very important for us. So in 1 minute each, I think I'll start with you, Teni. What has the Niyi Adesanya business think tank added to your business? And then I know you may have something similar, but immediately you hear him go right, you go left, so that we can be more encompassed. And I have a lot of people here, but we've been able to do 1 or 2 things together, and then that has been helpful. Over to you, Teni.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I think one of the biggest supporters of Niyi Adesanya brand is me.
He's challenging you.
And then for every of Niyi Adesanya's event, I actually bring a lot of people. I think we have about 23 people here today. Wow. And I promise you, before the end of the year, next year, we will have about 100, 150, 200 people that will come here. Now, what this program does to our people is to open their eyes to the realities of the industry they work in, and then to see other people, to be able to network with other people, and then most importantly, to have an opportunity to have someone they can actually tag along and then brainstorm together. Like when I was taking them, I think last week, I told them about this program and I said what they should expect. And I told them I'm a lover of this brand, that I support this brand big time. And for everyone that is going to be a leader in Oxford, this is an academy you have to go through. Because I believe this academy teaches people, it makes them focus on what they are supposed to do part-time, apart from the fact that you come in-house and then train them, oh, this is the kind of course you could take and all of that. So this academy is more like certifying people to understand that you are not the only one in the industry you are. There are other people and they are also doing well. So when you hear about other people's successes, it will galvanize you to want to do more or do better at what you do. I have people in-house that are actually making money. I don't want them to think, oh, this is how, they are now familiar with how to make money. But you need to understand that there are other areas you also need to take care of, especially when it comes to capacity building. So when they come here, they know. There are some people, because in their locality, everybody that talks around them, they are better than them. So when they hear them, they're like, okay, I'm a big boy. But when they come to events like this and hear other people, they'll start thinking in their mind that, man, I need to improve. I think I'm not doing something right. So these are the reasons why these people are here. And there is no one has ever invited to Niyi Adesanya. The way we even did it in Oxford is a choice. Will you come? Will you not come? Most of them always rush the ticket. I don't know what you've done today. You'll be like, you see, last year I didn't go. I'm coming this year. So I think something is happening to them. It happened to me. I think when I was in Dubai, one of the things I saw when Professor Patutomi was speaking is how somebody can speak for 3 hours and will not score things twice. There are few people like that in this country that will tell you, I am one of those people that started this. I'm one of those people that started that. I also wonder that, wait, when were you born exactly? Like you started almost everything in this country. So it's almost anytime I hear professor is coming, I'm always eager to hear from him because he will not repeat the same thing he said before. And anything he tells you, you retain it in your head. It doesn't go. You were showing me a book, and I said, "Is this what you spoke about the last time we came?" So that is something that people get to learn here, and that's why they are here. So we love the Niyi Adesanya brand that will keep supporting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, I think for us, the brand has been a game changer. It has raised the bar for us. As an organization, we've been doing, like I tell people, we do small things. And, and when we came on board the think tank, one of the major things it did was to challenge us to raise our game, bringing out our A game at all times. As an organization, we're used to being too conservative, and we lost some things, even businesses, to that. And when it came, for example, I told you earlier how that when we travel, not because we can't afford a business class ticket, we will just go economy every day. So one of those trips, he saw us, we traveled with our team, and we took over 50 people on all expense paid trip. And he saw that we're inside Emirates, the flight, and he saw us sitting together. And he said, no. So you mean you still fly economy? That's what we are flying. He said, no, but listen to me. That decision has changed so many things about the way we do business. The people we have met. Before we met you, we built a massive house somewhere in Akonjo, Itemu, Axis, massive, and somehow we got emotionally attached to the house. We didn't want to leave. But I'm telling you, because I've been there for like 4 years. When he came, he started reworking our mind, and we didn't know when we had to go and get a place in GRA. Now I had to move. And moving there, I saw a whole lot of difference too. The kind of people I relate with now and the kind of businesses. When we used to organize our events, we always go low-key. It challenged us that, see, you can't do it this way. Now, the one we did in February, normally we would gather crowd, but it has not translated to solid resources. But he could testify that people wore slippers, as in just slippers to our event in February, but because of what they saw, and